Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Joel C, back with another makeup look for you all. And this week we're going to dive into the Lunar Beauty Strawberry Dream palette. And I will say, this palette not only smells absolutely gorgeous.
It smells like strawberry milkshake.
Or like a strawberry shortcake.
Strawberries and cream, some.
But it is a super well-performing palette. There is a shimmer in here called Blue Diamond, and I have to say, this shade right here, oh my gosh, like that, it's absolutely amazing. It's unlike any other shimmer I've used before. It's basically like a it's insane. If you get to swatch this shade somehow, swatch it. So before we get into some things, if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for supporting me. And if you are a new person to the channel, welcome. We love you. You're welcome here. And make sure that you hit that subscribe button followed by that notification bell so that you could be notified of all future uploads. So as always, we're gonna go ahead and prime the eye first using the Louise base in Rumour 02. And that is gonna be a nice fleshy tone. It's their most popular shade, as they call it. And I'm just gonna use a dry mini sponge to just apply that all over my eyelid. Once you have an opaque layer on, use a blending brush to just go ahead and diffuse the edges of that so that it's not leaving like a crazy cast, like a mask. All right, so now that we have the primer on our lids, we're gonna go in with the shade Strawberry Moon, which is this beautiful cranberry shade, and we're gonna use a Morphe M514 or a similar brush, and we're gonna go ahead and pack that into the outermost part of that crease. And we're literally just gonna pat it on like this. Slowly build up your intensity with this color because you want that to also be blended out. So as you pack that on, make sure that you go ahead and diffuse it out. Now we're gonna take that same shade and we are gonna carefully pop that into the middle here. I definitely just heard myself say middle, and it's definitely not the middle. We're gonna apply that right here to the inner part of the lid, very close to where the tear duct is. Again, slowly build up your pigmentation for this. All right, and once you've gone ahead and now put those two spots of color in, the next shade that we're gonna dip into is gonna be Sunrise. And we're gonna use a Morphe M573. And just to give you a size comparison here,
No pun intended.
this is the Morphe M514. As you can see, it is a nice little blending brush. Now with the Morphe M573, you can see it's a slightly larger brush, but it's still very fluffy and it has a good amount of density to it so that we can go ahead and kind of feather out and have more diffusion as we lay down shades. So now I'm going to take Sunrise and I'm going to very gently place it as a transition shade all around the first shade, which was Strawberry Moon. So as you can see, this is like a peachy shade. Both of them are matte. And as you can see, I'm just not going in there and attacking with the brush. I am slowly laying down that pigment very patiently because halo eyes can get out of control very quickly. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. All right, so now that we've laid down those two shades and kind of like mapped out where that color is gonna go, I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe M514 and back into the shade Strawberry Moon, and we're gonna just reinforce that first shade and diffuse it back in. As you can see, look, and now it's starting to become more prominent, starting to look a little bit more like a halo eye. You can see it's starting to take shape. And I'm taking my time diffusing that color back in. All right, so now we're gonna add a little bit more depth to the eye. So I'm gonna go into the shade Storm Cloud, which is like a chocolate, deep chocolate brown color. And it's a matte, obviously. And I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M506. So here's the shade, and then here's the size of that brush. And all I'm doing with this is just kind of kissing and tapping that center there to just give it that depth of just almost like
Just
And back in with Storm Cloud, we're just gonna soften that up a little bit, make sure that that color wasn't lost. All right, so as you can see, that gave that eye a bit more depth and a little bit more drama. So now we're gonna go in with the shade Ruby Skies, and I'm using a Morphe M124. This is just a flat chisel tip brush. I'm gonna take one side of that brush, and I'm going to now place that shimmer on top of this gradient here going onto my lid. You'll see. And there you go. So you just basically place that shimmer on this side of this gradient. If you want, you can experiment and put it on the other side. I'm just going for that more matte on the outside, and then the shimmer goes in the center to just give more of that rounded metallic look. And that's the kind of look I love for a halo eye. We're gonna take that same shimmer, and we're gonna apply it to the other side now the same way. All right, so now with that same Morphe M124, I'm just flipping it to the other side. I'm gonna dip into the shade Blue Diamond, and I'm gonna put that in the core here in the center of the lid. As you can see, I have now taken that right up the center, and I'm taking it right into the brow bone as a highlight, just as a means of playing that optical illusion of just like, hey, you know, my eye is very oddly shaped. All right, so now that you've gotten to this point, don't get lazy. Make sure that you refine this blend here. You can't just sit there and just leave it as like these like streaks going up. The more seamless and more blended those metallics are and the metallics into the mattes are, the more beautiful and almost romantic it looks. Trust me, you want to be patient. Alright, so now that I have gone ahead, did my blends, you know, made sure that everything was really good and seamless for me, I'm going to go in with my Morphe color pencil in the shade Bar, and I'm going to lay that into my waterline here in my eyes so that we can kind of get a nice dark brown as my liner, and then we're going to smudge that out with obviously some warm reds or oranges. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. Alright, so now that I have gone ahead and just applied that dark brown into the waterline, I'm going to go back into the shade Strawberry Moon, and I'm just going to smudge out the bottom portion of the eye with some color, and that should basically be it for the color portion of the eye. Alright, so what I did, I took a Morphe M562 and I slowly went in with the shade Skyline first, which is this peachy kind of shade here, and then I went into the shade Sunset, which is more of a kind of mauve-y cranberry color, and then I went into the shade Strawberry Moon. This is a very, very thin, very easily blendable brush, so this is just meant to deposit color very gently in a very thin area. So I, with that, just gave this portion of the eye, my brow bone, I gave that some depth. Because I wasn't really liking the way that it kind of just was this straight line. I didn't really feel like you were able to appreciate anything about it. So this definitely gives more of that definition and more of that depth, and definitely gives it more of that halo kind of feel. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop off camera, and do the other eye, obviously my base, my contour, and lashes, and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see everyone, I have laid down my base, did the other eye, my lashes. So I'm gonna go in now with the Morphe Pop of Fuchsia Blush Trio, and I actually am gonna go in with the shade Visionary, which is a shimmer blush. As you can see, I have gone pretty ham into that palette. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay this right here. This is a shimmer blush, so I'm gonna be very careful about how I apply this. Alright, so now that we have laid down that blush, I'm gonna go in with some highlight now, and I'm gonna use something a little different. I'm excited to try this. This is the P. Louise, A Sprinkle of Passion, and this is a loose pigment that they sell on their website. And I was super excited because this is a gorgeous kind of blushy rose gold moment. So I want to use that as the highlight to just kind of emphasize like just those warm, pinky, blushy kind of tones and really lean into that a little bit. Wow, you guys, that's really gorgeous. I don't know if that's picking up on the camera, but wow, that is, I am like loving that. Like here's with and here's without. And to some of you that might seem kind of subtle, but like I love when something can really give the illusion of being on your skin. I think that's just such a gorgeous look for highlight. I'm lightly taking this over the brow here and even through the beginning of it. But I usually apply highlight like right here to this like core center of where my brows kind of meet, and then up to kind of radiate and lift forward, kind of project it forward. But since this is more blushy, I'm not gonna put red like right here, because then that's just gonna make it, that's gonna look awkward. So, you all, I am so in love with that loose pigment. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is stunning, stunning, stunning. I can't say it enough. I'm gonna have to get more of those because they are gorgeous. All right, so now that I laid down that highlighter, I'm gonna go in with the Morphe color pencil in Bar again, and I'm gonna line my lips so that we can go ahead and make a little ombre lip moment on this look. All right, so now that I have lined the lips, I'm gonna go in with the Morphe Liquid Matte Lipstick in the shade Virgin, and I'm gonna apply that to the core of the lip to make an ombre lip. All right, so now that I made that little ombre lip moment, I'm gonna go in with the Morphe lip gloss now in the shade Chill, which is a peachy kind of situation. And I'm gonna just take a couple dollops, take it out of the component. Because like I always tell you all, if you're going to apply a gloss and you want to keep your gloss color the way that it is and not get it all muddled and everything, make sure that you take a couple dollops and then put it onto the back of your hand, and then take a brush or your ring finger. Me, I just take my ring finger and I just apply it right onto the lip. And then if you need to, you can just always go in and reinforce the pencil or the liner as you need to. All right, so now that we have pretty much done all the steps, the last thing to do is to set this all into place. And my favorite setting spray obviously is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And there you have it, everybody. This is the final look. Hopefully you all like it, love it, couldn't live without it. And if you did, make sure that you leave a comment down below and a thumbs up for me. And make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of all future uploads of mine. And lastly, if you are shopping with Morphe, make sure that you use my discount code GLAMFAM366 for $5 off of your Morphe purchase of $10 or more, excluding third-party products. And it is one-time use only. I'm not an affiliate, I do not get paid for it. This is just a perk that Morphe threw in for me and my subscribers. So with all that being said, stay safe, take care, and I will see you all next week.